Good day, welcome to another edition of our online class. It's quite a while, and today we'll be talking about electric fence 101. Today I'll be going back to the elementaries. I think I've been off for quite some while now, and I've received a couple of messages that some questions that I feel maybe we've studied before, some persons are still asking. So today we'll be talking about some of those things. All right. Like one of the questions someone was asking, he said, what is the spacing between your brackets, right? From bracket A to bracket B. Now, we must understand something. When dealing with electric fence, your spacing matters a whole lot. Now, standard, the spacing between one bracket to the other bracket, this is where you peg in your post on the fence. You must ensure the distance between point A, like a bracket here, to the next one should be 3 meters, pardon me, meters apart from point A, let's say bracket A to bracket B. So here you have between this and this, that's 3 meters, and between this and this, another 3 meters. I don't know why I just like using 30 meters today. Okay, now that is for that 3 meters apart between both brackets. And now it gets to a point where you have a long stretch of your poles. Let's say you have your bracket. Please ensure there's what we call panel in electric fencing. Like we're talking about section. Let's say assume this is a set A. If you have a long stretch of electric fence and the span is around, let's say, 90 meters, right? 90 meters. You would not have, let's say, spring at one end here and have another spring at the extreme of the 90. You must ensure that between 30 meters, you should have your spring, your hook, and this. Let's assume this to this place. Let's say this here to here is 90 meters. If here to here is 90 meters, it means what I need to do for this spring, I cannot stretch this spring off from this end to this end. What I need to do, I need to separate it. Let's say the first 30, I have a spring and a hook. I terminate it on one pole, and I have another one from here to another one, another 30, then from another 30 to the other one. So that is so important for you when having your connections. So most times, personally, I call them panels. The first 30, that's a panel. The next is another panel. So within 90 meters, I'll be having up to three panels. So one thing you should understand, we're talking about the elementary. Now, you need to still understand what this is. This is a spring, all right? Your spring helps in tensioning your lines, the lines between, so that you don't have this your line saggy. It's most times appalling when you see your lines are sagging. It takes off the ecstasy of that fence. And also you must understand that there is the way you configure fences. Like I always say, when you have a six line bracket, all right, when you're configuring a 6-line bracket, one thing you must understand is always ensure, this is a 6-line bracket, for example, always ensure your first line, the one at the top and the one at the bottom, the last one, they are live, right? Sometimes you say, why not just live earth, live earth, live earth? No, we don't do that. You don't. Even if you try to do live earth, live earth, live earth, let me tell you, when it's time for us to configure this fence, we'll have issues because you're having an odd number. They're not even. So, and there's high tendency having an odd number like that, you won't have the complete way for you to look. Let's say, for example, we have it. Let's say somebody said these are assumption. This is life. This is the earth. This is the life. This is another earth. This is life, and this is earth. So it means we have 1, 2, 3 as a life. 1, 2, 3 as a life. If we have this energizer at this end, this energizer here, maybe it's coming to this first live. If this cable moves all the way, if maybe this is connected from here to the energizer, all right, here, and the energizer is on this side. This is the far extreme of the fence. This side, let's say this is from here to here, is 30 meters. If this energizer is here and you connected this, the first one to the energizer, to the live output, right? Let me open this so we see the live output of the energizer. All right. I think these are the live. Let me have a look at this. Zoom. This is the energizer. Right here, you have the out, and this one that have the red indicate the live out. Live out. This is a live return. Even right here, you can see this return. This is out. So if this the out enters this as a first one, it enters from here. Now, this goes all the way to this extreme, and from this place it moves to number this very number here, because we said live, live, live. These are F. So when because it's an odd configuration, not even, this one gets here. When it gets here, it moves all the way to this end. When it gets here, trying to configure with this one moves all the way here, and whereas you have your energizer on this side. So at the end of the day, you end up having a kind of parallel connection here, which most times is not ideal. So what you need to do is have something like this. The first one and the bottom as a live, all right? We have this middle one as the F. We have this as another live. We have this as another live. We have this as the F. We have this as the live. So it means on the top, the bottom, and the last line, you have live all around. So let's assume we're not taking the live out from here to this one. Please don't mind. Okay, let's try use this as looping. Let's take it this way. Let's assume we take our live out from this one, from the energizer output. This is the live out, the first one, the top one here. It moves all the way to this one. Then this cable, this line, the move flow of current goes all the way here. It gets to this place, moves to the next live. Next live, move all the way to this extreme. When it gets here, this guy travels to this and travels to this, and this one comes all the way here, back to this, and it's back to the position, the area where you have the energizer. Even if the span of this place is 30 meters or even longer than that, it doesn't affect this. At the end of the day, you have your cable running from here to the energizer, and from here to the energizer. Same your earth. You can also do same for your earth. You take this as the earth. It goes all the way here to the next earth, and it comes back to the return. Now, somebody was asking a question. That question was, okay, why is the energizer always looped at the bottom? Now, why you have that loop at the bottom is, like I've said in most of our classes, if you have your energizer can be connected in parallel, but most times the series connection for energizer is ideal, is the best kind of connection. But by the time you find a loop under, you take one, maybe you take one from the energizer here to here, just loop this to the other end, and you leave this one follow. That is still acceptable, because the top and the bottom is still in series. So if one tries to cut this, it opens up the circuit. If one tries to cut this at the bottom, it opens up that circuit. Now, for the middle, nobody tries to even say you want to dive through the middle of the earth, between the earth and the light. That's why, for security purpose, always ensure your connection are in series, no parallel. So if you have this part, let's say the earth, because it's at the middle, somebody cut this earth at the middle, there is still no way you want to find your way through the middle, right? But if you open any of this line, okay, let's assume the person has decided to say, okay, please disregard this spring. This one is it continues to this place. I just have this place, disregard it. Now, let's say somebody come, you decide to say, okay, you want to cut the middle. Absolutely difficult. By the time you open this circuit, The Energizer detects it that the circuit is open. So that is that with your with this very course. Now, because while I'm trying to explain this, it is some questions that I got while I was away. Some persons were asking. I just felt these are elementary questions. I'll have to deal with it. And quite I've been so busy. I've never had not had time to even come around to have a class. Then also, some persons was also asking. They're asking, how do you connect your siren? Now, for your energizers, this very first block, even this if it's a name tag, for example, this very first block, you have the terminal. If you remove this one, check every of your energizer. When this terminal is removed, you see your siren, you see the light which is for your strobe, and the switch. So the switch is to connect remote to it. The siren is for when there is an intrusion for the alarm to go off. And the final one is the strobe light. The strobe is for your light, your flasher. If there's an intrusion, you see the light blinking. Helps to indicate the very, maybe we have streaks of electric fence in a street where we have electric fence in house A, house B, house C, house D, for example. And there's an intrusion in one of those fences, and you just hear the alarm go off. You try to identify which of these houses that the alarm has actually gone off like that. The only thing you use in identifying them, most times the easiest way, is for you to look at the flashers. If they are placed at the front, to say, okay, fine, that's house number 2, that's where you have the instruction. So this is what we will have for today. Until we meet again in our next class, please do well, subscribe to this channel, invite others, share this video massively, and I promise soon we'll be coming with some more interesting videos. For now, do have a lovely day. Bye-bye.
The Food Tech TV.
I'm the red guy, call me Slim Shady, getting the death.